good. They couldn't see and they just didn't understand. And looking in the mirror, there were fools at either hand. You shine a light on my life. You shine a light on my life. You shine a light on my life.
Welcome back, 9:16. A little bit of change on this Wednesday morning. It's the 23rd day of April. I need a Claritin. Teresa. And hold on, can I tell you? So Teresa and I have been on a little bit of a journey because I was going on vacation whenever I was talking to you, and I had things getting delivered, and the stove got in there.
Oh, good.
The couch did not.
Uh-oh.
It's been a nightmare.
Would it not fit through the door?
I did not measure it correctly, and I should have taken the professional's word for it, but I did one better. Lawayna, you know what you should do whenever your couch doesn't fit the first time? You go to lunch and you grab your boss and you say, you know what, I think we should move this couch. And I think they're doing something wrong here. So we decided to go try for ourselves and see that it did not fit. But let me tell you something. I was at the Midwest furniture store over there with Ashley and all that in the Pie-Saw Center. They were really nice about it. Really, they took it back after, we tried our best with it. And, they got me a new couch coming in Thursday. So I really...
Oh, my God.
The stove works great, though. I am proud of the stove.
Good.
That's so,
lessons learned.
So, we were talking about this, though, and this is such an important event to talk about. On May the 3rd, this is the 3rd annual Bereaved Mothers Day event.
Yes.
And, Teresa, let's kind of dive right into, why this event came to be and its origin story, if you will.
Sure. I'll make it short. So I started this event. Actually, a friend reached out to me and said, will you send this out to your community? I had already been doing a podcast for 2 years. And so I had a community of women that had experienced infertility or loss of a child during pregnancy. And so she reached out. She said, can you promote this? And I said, yeah, but hold on. I would like to co-host this with you.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about doing the same thing. So we partnered that first year. It was small that first year. There was like 15 women there, but it was still beautiful. It's all about women connecting together and forming relationships with other women that have experienced loss. So it was beautiful. The next year I expanded. Doing it myself, I expanded to a bigger space and added more things to it. Last year we had about 24, 25 people. And this year, the 3rd annual, we're moving to a bigger space.
Good.
Not so much that we need a bigger space, because I do want to keep it small and intimate. And so what we're looking for is 25 women that will come together that have experienced a loss of a child. Well, and pregnancy included.
Well, and see, I think that's one of those things too. And we talked about it on the phone, a couple of, that's one of those where you need an intimate kind of, setting, and you don't, especially for what, you're going through a loss that you're never going, to recover from. Right. And that's just, and it's really an inspiring event too. And take me through the first couple of years and just some of the sights and sounds of it, if you could.
Yeah. Well, I'll share the first year, and then I'll let Lawayna share a little bit about the second year, since she experienced that. The first year we came together, of course, it was a brunch we did a painting exercise, and a big part of it was just the women sharing their story and connecting with each other. We presented all the women with a rose, took their picture. It's really about honoring these women that have endured a lot. They've experienced a lot, and the connections, like I said before. And then the second year, you can share, Lawayna, how you got connected and what you thought of the second year.
I actually got connected from Jill, who was a lady. We both experienced child loss, and we had already done about 3 different child loss support groups together. And so she invited me to come over. I came over, and it was just such a welcoming environment, just a lot of women cheering and supporting each other. We cute icebreaker. It just sticks out in my mind. I got Barbie. Somebody else had Ken. So that's how we got together. My favorite part was the horticulture, where you just made your own little flower banquet. That's what I'm trying to say.
arrangement.
There we go. Help me out, Teresa. Mental block. But it was really, really beautiful. And just hearing the stories and everybody sharing together was very healing and encouraging.
Well, I'm sure, and especially too, being in a setting like that, it seems it just, from what I could gather, from my, out, because I don't know the experience of this, would be, the actual connection that is shared amongst the individuals in the group, because it's a true shared lived experience.
And it's interesting because the women that come together, they're not all have the exact same experience. The children are all different ages. The time of their experience could have been within the year. It could have been 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Right.
But there's still those connections, and women do come. Like last year, I had a couple women that their child loss was probably 15 to 20 years.
That's what I was going to ask you.
They still need that support and that connection. So
what I really liked, I met one lady there, and when she talked about just miscarrying and not even giving space to that, and then just, moving on with life, and then later realized how traumatic, that time was that she didn't give space to. So it's really eye-opening, I think, a lot of times when we get into this grief and we're thinking about miscarries or terminations, medically induced terminations and all those kind of things are just as important.
Yeah. And the piece that Lawayna just talked about, doing those floral arrangements, the botanical gardens, I'll give them a little plug. They do that. It's very therapeutic and it's beautiful. So someone had suggested I reach out to them, and I did. And so they came last year, and that seemed to be one of the most favorite parts because you're doing this arrangement and you're still talking and having conversation with other women. So it's just very therapeutic. It's beautiful. So they're coming back this year. Yeah. So they might be with us indefinitely, however long we do this, they'll probably be with us.
It's such a beautiful experience because the lady there, her whole face lights up when she talks about these flowers and how to arrange them, and there's no right or wrong thing, so nobody got anything wrong, and we all come out with these beautiful masterpieces that we made ourselves, So.
Beautiful.
Well, and with that being said too, it's self-care, the floral arrangement, there's going to be a butterfly release too, correct?
Yes.
And take me through the lineup of events, because this is a good, a good part of the day, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. You're getting a lot of the event out of this in Toddhall Retreat Conference in Columbia. Where's that kind of at?
It's, I would say it's between, it is between Columbia and Waterloo and Millstadt. So it's kind of in the middle of those two communities. Okay. But really, you go through Columbia, and as you're going out of Columbia, you get on 158, and I would say it's a half a mile, a quarter of a mile on 158. So it's way before you get to Millstadt. And there's 45 acres there.
Oh, wow.
So that's
a beautiful place.
What I love is the acreage. So much healing happens within nature if people are in nature. I talk about this all the time. I do love nature. There's so much healing. Maybe because I grew up on a farm, out in nature. That's why I love it.
Okay, that's fair.
But we're going to start the day. Well, we're thinking about that same icebreaker because the women really did like it. It is. And what's beautiful about that is for me to watch. I didn't even know all of the women, but to see how they pair together. With me not doing it, them just picking a piece of paper and then pairing together with someone was beautiful, those connections. So we'll start with an icebreaker. We have a couple of speakers. I have Dina Wolf coming in, and she's going to do a talk on self-care. Because women, we don't always like to take care of ourselves. We like to take care of everyone else. And with grief, self-care is super important. Then Lawayna will share her story of navigating grief. She experienced the loss of her son. And so she'll share about that. We're going to have a beautiful lunch. And then we'll have like a self-care restoration and self-care kind of thing where we'll have somebody that has, I have people coming in that are going to do nails, makeup, refresh, skincare. We're going to do chair massages. So it's really about pampering these women that are coming.
That's incredible.
We're also doing those breakouts just in case anybody needed a little extra support, with Teresa being a grief coach and myself being a therapist, so we're there to provide that as well.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's really important too, because, especially like Teresa, you said earlier something that was interesting, because I had a group on yesterday, Mothers Unique, that, helps recently, bereaved mothers that lost, a child and make sure they can assist them some way financially. Yeah. And, we were talking about some of the meetings they're having and some of the folks that have joined, and, like you said, 15 years, or 10, after, your child's passed away. And honestly, it's great to see, for some people out there that maybe have never really talked about it, and maybe it's still on their mind. This is a great opportunity, especially with that professional side of things too, with breakouts and your qualifications, that you could really have that data to truly dive into it if you're willing to or ready to.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I would love a connection to them.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We need to talk to them.
Oh yeah, we'll hook you up with Mothers Unique for sure. The great group. And so if you're just tuning into to the conversation, we'll have this available online at about 11:30 today. The Bereaved Mothers Day event is Saturday, May the 3rd. It's at Toddhall Retreat Conference Center, 320 Todd Center Drive in Columbia. And the cost to this, I'm going to be honest with you, I was kind of thinking, $150 to $200 because of just, it's, you're looking at 8 hours almost, or 4 to, you're looking at a good chunk of change here, and all these different opportunities to kind of relax, take it and make it a self-care day, and really just taking care of mom, $35, or if you want to add on that grief breathwork session, correct?
Yeah.
That's $45.
Yes.
That's really affordable for this.
Yes.
Very much so. And I've always, from the very beginning, wanted it to be very affordable. So there's some sponsorships that are happening. The Anderson, the Share Group at Anderson Hospital is a sponsor, and some of my speakers are also sponsoring, providing food, so that's a less cost. I think really what the gals are kind of paying for is that floral arrangement, pretty much, and the butterfly release at the end of the day. I'm hoping in the future that I can get plenty of sponsors to cover the whole thing for women, but we do know that sometimes we need to put some money there or we're not going to show up.
Yeah,
so
you gotta have some skin in the game.
That's
sometimes,
right.
But Teresa has a heart for the community and a heart for helping people as well as myself. So we do a lot of opportunities to give back to others and pro bono type work, So, but that's really her heart. So all the things you see is her. That's who she is. She wants to take care of them and just hold space for that moment.
Well, and I wanted to, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break here because I have to pay a couple of bills, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more.
About that.
I'm really excited to learn more about the breakout sessions too, and how we can use your services and what the conversations can kind of look like, or how they even start for some people if they haven't had those yet. Before we take that quick break, let me fill you in on my friends at OSF Healthcare. They're truly our partner, not only healthcare and medicine, but also just in the community. You see their banners up at Gordon Moore Park and all of the spots around the 618, and that's because they're not only with us every step of the way for our health care, they're also here for us in the community and bringing innovative care closer to home and just wanting us to be a part of their neighborhood. St. Anthony's Health Centers offers you everything you need for your healthcare journey, all in one trusted place. You know what I told you about the other day? My grandma needed to go to prompt care, urgent care, so we went to one on Godfrey Road. Well, urgent care ain't so urgent anymore. You got to wait for 4 hours when nobody's in the waiting room. So what we decided to do was just head on over to OSF's prompt care office. They took her. She was in and out faster than you could even blink, and they had her taken care of. She was feeling better within a couple of days, and they treated her like their own. And you know what? They'll do the same for you. OSFhealthcare.org. See all the new innovative ways that they're bringing in, that wound care clinic, some of the ways they're treating diabetes and cardiovascular health, breast health, rehabilitation, and so much more. That cutting-edge technology and compassionate touch at OSFhealthcare.org. Don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over. Get over here their way.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us.
9:33. Welcome back to Our Daily Show. We were just, quick commercial break for you guys. I told you it was a quick one.
I was ready to get up.
Well, we were getting ready to take pictures. I have a soda exploding on me in the studio this morning, and this keyboard is absolutely ruined. So we're going to have to go up to the tech center in just a couple of minutes here. But, we're getting back to this conversation about the Bereaved Mothers Day event. It's the third annual one. It keeps on growing, hosted by Teresa Reininger, Living After Grief, and really Toddhall Retreat and Conference Center, 45 acres in Columbia, where you can be part of it Saturday, May the 3rd, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for $35. I mean, going back to that, I just love the cost point of that because I really expected, $150, $200.
Yeah. The value is there for it to be that.
It really is. Yeah.
These are women though that I always want to pamper them.
Yeah.
I want to honor them.
Yeah.
For what they've endured, and so to be able to keep the price low for them is going to always be my goal.
Well, and we were talking about the breakout sessions a little bit, and wanted to kind of dive more into those. What are those going to look and sound like? And then also too, if we could, and just a follow up, just before we get into the meat of the conversation, if someone's never had that conversation and maybe they don't know how to approach it because they just put it away and they move forward because women are strong and they
keep
keep marching along. So, what would that sound like?
To do the breakout session?
Yeah, to do the breakout session first.
With Wayna and I, it's really those women that continue to be strong, and we do want to be strong for other people, or to just push it down and avoid it. We know, as professionals that work with them, it will surface.
Right.
You can hold it only down so long. And I a lot of times use the analogy of like a beach ball and trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Right. You can only hold it there a certain length of time, and then it's going to pop up and who knows where it's going to go. So grief affects every aspect of your life. And so we want to make sure that once we talk to people, you can determine where it's affecting them the most. And for me, you could speak to you, but that's where I dive in first. Like, is it affecting your relationship? Is it affecting your career? Is it affecting your spiritual life, your health? I mean, it affects every area. And people don't many times even realize how it has affected them.
Yeah.
I belong to a support group, and one of the gals last night said, I'm crabby and, and I'm on edge. And I don't even realize sometimes until I sit for a minute that it's the grief. Like, it's close to a date when she experienced the loss of her child, and her husband will say, well, do you know what today is? Right. And so it might have been for them 8 years ago, but those dates still, they're in us. Grief is within our body, and we may not even know the calendar day, but our body knows. Our body holds that grief.
Yeah, we like to say body keeps the score, right?
The body does keep the score. It's a great book.
For me, the journey of grief, sometimes I could connect with my own journey with grief, because when you're sharing your story, there's healing involved, Absolutely. So I may just start throwing out things that I did, in the first loss, weeks, months after my son died, and they are like, oh, I can see, or oh, I can resonate with that, or oh, I'm going through that right now. So I think for me, that lived experience is my connection in a lot of the times.
Do you think the lived experience and that shared connecting point, do you think that could be one of the most priceless things when it comes to having these conversations? Because that's why I really think that this event, just for my I guess my empathetic approach to this, because I can't sympathize with this situation, that it would have to be a connected piece to truly get to a healing point, because you have someone that truly understands where you're coming from.
Yeah, that can work either way though. Sometimes
really?
Because they might be because maybe my grief may be too triggering, or my experience might be too triggering,
now,
and
that's
it may
true.
take that professional side of just validating them and more listening and more support.
Yeah.
And in the listening, I think we both as professionals, we can see the pattern, where it leads to, of hope and healing, and where it stemmed from, maybe some of that grief too. But it's just meeting the person where they are, because we're all different and unique,
That we are. And our grief is very different and unique. Even if there are two people that lost a child at age 3, maybe in the same thing, we'll just say, I got, hopefully not, but car accidents, they're the same 3-year-old car accident, but the grief in both of those women and parents and families is totally different, because their relationship with each other and that child were different. So
true.
Grief is very, very unique. And I think a lot of times with society, we want to compare our grief.
Yeah,
and
that's
is
true.
A big mistake.
That's
right there,
very
is
true.
Don't compare.
Yeah, I fell victim to that myself. My sister had lost her husband. It's been about 10 years, and she is still not not through it. And I'm like, gosh, it's been 5 years. Come on, now let's get back in life. But going through my own loss of losing my son, I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I didn't give you enough, grace and enough understanding and support doing that, And it was such a violent way too. So, so that PTSD and everything,
Yeah. Well, and see, I think that's such a really important thing to note, because you're right. I mean, in society, we really, look at Facebook and all that, and you can't tell me we don't compare grief, or, or in some ways, and I don't want to accuse us of doing this intentionally, but in an unintentional way, we almost live for, some people almost live for that kind of social media,
drama.
For that. Yeah. And I hate to say drama, but almost that validation that they're heard, where it's, the thoughts and prayers, but I won't tell you, where, if it's going to be, here's what happened to me, yesterday, and, this has been going on, is it because you really want the world to know, or is it because you just want to feel heard? And that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'd rather a professional here.
Both. Yeah, I'm like, it could be a little bit of both. Yeah.
People definitely want to be heard.
Yeah, definitely seeking some validation in their experiences, and, and just some support that they may not find with the people closest to them.
That's true.
So
this is why this is going to be such a great event. mean, really all day long, this is what it's going to look like. And when do the breakout sessions start? And what's the grief breathwork session?
That's amazing. And so Lawayna and I both experienced that. I do a retreat, and that is a higher cost ticket item. I do a retreat, a whole weekend retreat. And we experience the breath work, the grief breath work at that event. A great friend of mine, Dina Wolf, presents that. It will be after the event is over at 3. If people want to stay and do that, there is an additional cost for that, but it is amazing, that experience. So you have headsets on where you're listening to all kinds of prompts, and it's taking you through some deep breathing. Wow. And she even said, if anybody follows me on social media, I posted a video of her and I. It's really, while you're going through that, the talking piece of that, it's affirmations, it's sounds, it's all kinds of things that are so healing while you're doing this breathing. But in the middle of it, it takes you to a place to really have a visual with your loved one, which is super powerful. Wow. And it releases a lot of grief within you as you walk through this experience. So it's an amazing experience, an amazing thing to be a part of and do. We've experienced it. I've actually experienced it twice, and I will do it again.
There's so much healing when everybody gets done, though. They're like, wow.
Yes.
I didn't think I was holding anything in, you know?
And you are.
Yeah. Okay. So, I know I am.
Well, with that being said, too, when do the breakout sessions take place during the course of the day?
So they'll be, we'll do lunch, and then I think right after lunch we'll do that floral arrangement, and then it's towards the end of the day. Because everybody will kind of separate it. We kind of stay together at the beginning for some talks, and then we'll do that towards the end of the day. So people can then, they've kind of connected with people, but during that time they can really connect and have conversation while they're moving about to different breakouts, different things, whatever they feel they need to do. And I want to make sure that I also talk about, during that time, we talked about chair massage, like essential oil skincare. Connie, my good friend Connie Rose, she's also going to be there with a device that she can do inner voice scans. Oh, wow. So this is very interesting. We hold our emotions in our vocal cords. Wow. And so when you speak words, she has a device that can I guess, tell you what emotions are being held when you're speaking in your vocal cords. Wow. Yeah. And so
that's incredible.
I haven't seen
that's
this
like
yet,
actually
so
pretty incredible.
Yeah. So she might get me caught up a little bit though. so I get a little misty.
It gives you then frequencies. She will send you those frequencies to listen to on a daily basis to help with the emotional healing.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that's going to be...
And that's included in the ticket price?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have some good friends that help around me and support me so that are willing to come together.
Friend,
so before I let you go, because we're running out of time here, let's overview the event one last time. The Bereaved Mothers Day event, the 3rd annual, May the 3rd. It's going to be at Columbia at the Toddhall Retreat Conference Center, 320 Todd Center Drive, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 3rd of May, $35 in that grief breathwork session. If I do get paid to do my job, $45 of an add-on cost, 4 to 5 p.m. afterwards.
Yes.
But one last time, if you could, let's overview this, and we'll put a nice bow on this conversation.
Yeah. So reach out to me, social media, Living After Grief, or just really that event is under my name, which is Teresa Werner, maiden name Reiniger, or just go to livingaftergrief.com/Bereaved Mothers Day. And you can get a link, or if that's not working for you, just find me or Lawayna on social media, and we can get you registered for that event.
Really cool.
Pretty easy.
And where can we find your podcast?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about podcasting. Lawayna and I do a podcast, so I shared. I do a podcast for 5 years. It's now been rebranded multiple times as I've grown in my business and minister to other women. It is now Lawayna joined me in January, and we are now Female Voices, Life and Loss.
That's really cool. Where can we find this?
Wherever you listen to
podcasts.
So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and we're on all of them.
Apple, Spotify.
Yep.
Really cool.
All the
We'll
stations.
make sure to add that to the article as well in the write-up on this. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Before we take a quick break, are you looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery? A life free from addiction is possible, and it starts at our friends at Centerstone. You know, they're a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, and with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. Their dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you, and it's based on the latest science. Listen, it's 2025. We got to get over this. Addiction can happen to anybody, but the good news is so can recovery, and it might not be for you. This information could be for your loved one. I hope you gather this information as they join us on the first and last Wednesday of each and every month as we tackle all of the important resources and programs that are within their network. You can learn more at centerstone.org.